My beloved child, there's a tremor in the spirit world tonight, and Archangel Michael has stepped forward with a message that carries the weight of heaven itself. He says that December 12th is not just another date, it is a spiritual deadline. And right now, this very moment, only 30 minutes remain in the heavenly window that has opened over your life. Michael reveals that 3 divine messengers have gathered outside the spiritual gates of your home, whispering about something that is about to break open. Something so unexpected that your finances, your stability, and even the atmosphere inside your house will never feel the same again. This is not fear, this is alignment. This is divine intervention arriving precisely when your human strength is almost empty. Listen close, Michael is showing me an image of your house glowing from the inside, like a lantern in a storm. He says your prayers, yes, even the silent ones soaked in exhaustion, have risen like incense. And because of that, heaven has deployed 3 angels, each carrying a different assignment connected to your breakthrough. The first angel stands at your doorway, as if reading every tear that ever touched your pillow. Michael says this angel carries the scroll of reversal, the authority to undo every financial blockage that has been haunting you for months or even years. The reason your house is being discussed is because the enemy has attempted to make it a place of stress, tension, and unexpected loss. But heaven is rewriting the narrative. The second angel is watching over your finances. Not just your money, but the sources, the channels, the opportunities that have been slowed or stolen. This angel carries the oil of sudden increase, and Michael says the shocking turn you are about to witness will feel unreal at first, as if your life jumped timelines. It will come through an unexpected message, an unexpected deposit, or an unexpected open door, but it will come. And the third angel, this one, stands with Michael himself, and he is the most intense of the 3. He carries the sword of exposure, and Michael says there is someone, known or unknown, whose energy, jealousy, or secret intentions have been interfering with your peace. Heaven is about to reveal them, not to scare you but to free you. Michael whispers, the child who has been suffering in silence is now rising in the light. The house that carried burdens will now carry blessings. But they must open this message before the window closes. You are not hearing these words by accident. You were pulled here. Something in your spirit recognized the vibration of truth, the sound of heavenly urgency. And Michael says this, tell them the countdown is real. Not because disaster is coming, but because the blessing that has been delayed cannot wait any longer. Your finances are about to shift in a way that doesn't match your current circumstances. It will be a divine contradiction. God rewriting the script of your life with His hand, not yours. Right now, Michael is showing me a scene. You standing in the center of your house while light pours through the walls. It's as if heaven is rewiring your atmosphere, cleansing old energy, breaking cycles, shaking loose every financial hindrance. But here is the part you must not ignore. Michael says the breakthrough is ready, but your awareness is the key that unlocks it. If you dismiss the signs, if you ignore the nudge in your spirit, if you scroll away before receiving this, you risk missing the activation meant for you. This message is your confirmation that heaven has already moved. But you must stay present long enough to receive every detail. Something bigger is about to be revealed, and the next moments will help you understand why 3 angels have been discussing your home so urgently. Before you move forward, breathe, feel the shift. Your spirit knows what your mind hasn't fully processed yet. You are standing on holy ground. And beloved, as Michael says, hold on, because the revelation that comes next will shake the dust off your destiny. Yes, what is about to unfold will make sense of everything you have been surviving. Stay close. Don't drift. Don't disconnect. The angels have not finished speaking. Type "I open the gate of light" in the comments if this message is touching your spirit. Blessing code 441 has just been activated over your home. Dearest one, brace yourself, because as Archangel Michael steps forward again, the atmosphere around you is shifting even more intensely than before. He says the reason this message found you at this exact moment is because your spirit has entered a divine intersection, a moment where destiny bends and the unseen world rearranges itself for your good. The window that opened on December 12th is not symbolic. It is literal in the realm of spirit, and the countdown that heaven declared is still pulsing over your life like a supernatural heartbeat. Michael says that what is happening around your house right now is not ordinary, and if you could see what the angels are seeing, you would understand why they are speaking with such urgency. Michael begins by revealing something deeper about the three angels positioned around your home. He says the first angel is standing guard not just at your doorway, but at the threshold of your timeline. This angel carries the authority to pull you out of every pattern of financial drought that has been repeating itself like a cycle. Heaven has watched you take hit after hit, watched you give when you had little left, watched you hold the pieces of your life together when the world thought you were breaking. That angel is here because you have been marked for reversal. You are not meant to repeat the same financial hardship again. Michael says heaven has seen the battles nobody else saw, the nights when you questioned your worth, the mornings when you woke up pretending to be strong. Every silent tear has been counted, and now, the scroll held by this angel contains your release. The second angel moves differently. Michael describes this one as carrying a heavy, radiant vessel filled with something that looks like shimmering gold liquid. He says this is the substance of divine increase, and it is drawn toward people who have been faithful even when they felt forgotten. This angel is examining your finances, your transactions, your efforts, your attempts to build, repair, recover, and grow. And this angel has determined that what had been held back from you is no longer permitted to remain in delay. The shocking turn that heaven is preparing is not random. It is the result of permission being granted in the courts of heaven. Opportunities that were blocked are now being reordered. Doors that were shut because of timing are now being opened because of divine urgency. Michael says what is coming will be so sudden, you will question whether it is truly meant for you. But it is. You earned this breakthrough in the spirit long before you will see it in the natural. The third angel, the one standing closest to Michael, carries a vibration so strong that even the darkness trembles at its presence. Michael says this angel's assignment is exposure. Someone in your orbit has not been aligned with your peace. Their intention, their jealousy, their quiet sabotage, where their draining energy has been affecting the atmosphere of your home without you fully realizing it. This is why your mind has felt heavy on certain days, why your motivation has fluctuated, why sudden discouragement has hit you without a clear reason. Heaven has decided to cut this interference off. Michael says exposure is not punishment, it is protection. You are being shielded from someone whose spirit does not match the calling on your life. And the moment this influence is removed, your financial blessings will flow without resistance. Michael is now revealing something even more profound. He says your house has been responding to your emotional and spiritual state. When you were stressed, the energy dimmed. When you were hopeful, it brightened. When you felt alone, it echoed that loneliness in ways you could feel but not explain. The three angels discussing your house are doing so because heaven is preparing your home to become a sanctuary instead of a battlefield. They are cleansing the atmosphere, repairing the cracks in your spiritual foundation, and preparing the space for abundance to enter. Michael says finances are not just numbers, they are energy. And your home must be aligned with that energy for the financial surge to take root. You may not realize it, but you have already felt some of these shifts. Moments of sudden heaviness, sudden clarity, sudden restlessness, sudden peace, sudden discomfort around certain people. These are signs that the angels have begun their work. The restructuring of your spiritual environment is already underway. And Michael says that the more you listen, the more you will understand what is being positioned for you. There is something else. Michael says the countdown is not to frighten you, but to awaken you. Heaven works in windows, in moments where divine permission intersects with your readiness. This is one of those rare intersections. And if you stay with this message, you will see how everything connects. He whispers that the revelation coming next will explain why your finances were attacked in the first place, and why the shift arriving now is so powerful that even the three angels are speaking about it with urgency. Pause for a moment and feel this truth. Nothing is happening against you. Everything is happening for you. What you thought was delay was preparation. What you thought was loss was beginning. What you thought was silence was heaven gathering resources for your breakthrough. Michael urges you to stay present, because the next unveiling is crucial. He says you are closer to your financial turning point than you have ever been. And before you move to the next moment of this message, Michael says to tell you this: you are not at the end of your story. You are at the end of a chapter. And what is about to begin will make the struggle worth it. Hold on, because what comes next will reveal the hidden reason behind your financial warfare. Type "I step into divine reordering" in the comments if your spirit feels this shift. Blessing code 552 has now been released into your atmosphere. Beloved heart, breathe deeply as we step into this next revelation, because Archangel Michael says the veil has thinned even more, and what is being shown now is something heaven has waited a long time to reveal to you. He says the three angels positioned near your home have begun to move, and their movement signals that the spiritual order around your life is changing with intensity. You may feel it already, a strange stirring inside you, a sensation that something is approaching, a quiet pressure that makes you more aware, more alert, more awake than usual. Michael says that is not anxiety, that is spiritual alignment. Heaven rarely opens a financial shift without first exposing the deeper root behind your struggles, and today, Michael is peeling back layers that have been unseen, untouched, and unspoken for years. He says your financial journey has not merely been about money. It has been about spiritual resistance, generational weight, emotional exhaustion, and the battles you have fought alone in silence. The angels discussing your house are not simply observing. They are identifying the spiritual entry points where stress, lack, confusion, and unexpected financial hits tried to seep in. Every doorway, every room, every corner of your home holds a memory of what you have survived. And heaven is cleansing that memory. Michael shows me a scene. You sitting at a table, looking at bills, opportunities lost, plans delayed, and hopes postponed. But behind you, unseen, an angel was standing there each time, shielding you from the attacks that could have destroyed you. He says, tell them they were never unprotected. Even in their lowest moments, heaven stood guard. You may have felt alone, but you were never abandoned. The reason your finances came under so much pressure is because the blessing assigned to your life is not small. There is a mantle of influence on you, a calling that extends beyond your current circumstances, and the enemy fought your resources because he could not fight your destiny directly. By weakening your financial strength, he hoped to weaken your spiritual strength. But your resilience confused him. Every time you fell, you rose again. Every time you broke, you healed. Every time you lost, you rebuilt. Michael says heaven has seen the strength you do not even give yourself credit for. Now the three angels have completed their assessment of your home, and their report is being delivered to the courts of heaven. Michael says the ruling has already been released. Permission for divine intervention has been granted. That means what blocked you can no longer stand, what resisted you can no longer remain, and what craned you can no longer operate inside your financial path. This is why your finances are about to take a shocking turn. It is not random. It is court-ordered in the Spirit. Nothing and no one can undo what heaven has decided. Michael then shows me something extraordinary. The angel carrying the vessel of increase is now pouring a portion of that golden substance over your name, your home, and your financial path. This is symbolic of restoration, but Michael says it is also literal. New income streams, financial surprises, sudden approvals, cleared debts, and unexpected opportunities are aligning with your name. Someone will remember you. Someone will favor you. Someone will choose you. Someone will open a door that was previously shut. He says the answer you need is already traveling toward you. The angel of exposure is also completing his assignment. Michael says the hidden interference around your life will now be revealed through dreams, sudden intuition, unexpected conversations, or a shift in someone's behavior. Once exposure happens, your atmosphere will feel lighter, your thoughts clearer, and your finances freer. You will look back and realize that the person or energy that was draining you was the very reason your blessings stalled. And the moment they are removed, willingly or forcefully, your financial turnaround will accelerate. Michael wants you to know that you have not been delayed, you have been prepared. Every hardship planted wisdom. Every loss planted discernment. Every setback planted strength. And now heaven says the harvest is ready. The angels discussing your home are not talking about danger. They are talking about deliverance. They are telling Michael that you are ready. Ready to receive. Ready to rise. Ready to step into the version of your life that finally makes sense. But Michael also says this: do not disconnect too soon. What comes next is crucial. There is one more layer of revelation that will tie everything together, a truth that will help you understand why December 12th was chosen, why the countdown matters, and why the angels are moving with such urgency. Stay attentive. Stay open. Heaven is not finished with you. Before we move forward, take a moment to acknowledge what your spirit already knows. You are shifting. Your environment is shifting. Your finances are shifting. Nothing is the same as it was, and nothing will return to the old pattern again. Type I align with heaven's decision in the comments to seal this revelation. Blessing code 808 has now been released upon your financial path. And now, as you receive this message, if you feel the presence of God stirring in your spirit, let this next moment be your act of faith. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to help this message reach the ones who are aching for clarity, breakthrough, and divine reassurance. Someone else's deliverance may begin with your action. In this very moment, as heaven speaks about your house and the shift approaching your finances, I feel led to tell you something important. When you choose to support this mission, you are not just helping a channel. You are becoming part of a divine assignment to reach souls who are crying for hope. Scripture says that those who sow into the work of the Spirit will reap a harvest that no thief can touch, and today that promise is alive for you. I hear the Spirit saying, I am calling you into the river of provision. This is your moment to step forward and say, I am a carrier of light. Your support through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description becomes a prophetic seed that heaven multiplies. To the ones who give, I speak this blessing. May your gift return to you as unexpected provision, overflowing favor, and doors opening before you. Take this step boldly, for heaven honors those who move when the Spirit whispers. Precious one, lean in closely now, because Archangel Michael says the moment we have stepped into is one of the most delicate stages of your divine unfolding. He reveals that the spiritual discussion around your home has intensified, and now the three angels have begun releasing waves of energy that are altering the very atmosphere around you. If you have recently felt a sudden shift inside your spirit, an unexplained calm, a trembling anticipation, or even a strange inner awakening, Michael says this is the evidence that heaven's hand is already upon your dwelling. He says your house has become a spiritual focal point because heaven is using it as the first landing ground for your financial transformation. Everything connected to your life, from your work to your opportunities to your relationships, is being recalibrated. Michael describes it as a divine renovation taking place without walls being touched, without paint being changed, without furniture being moved. Instead, what is being renovated is the energy flow, the spiritual pathways, the atmosphere that your blessings must enter through. Michael shows me an image of your home wrapped in a soft, golden glow, almost like light is trying to seep through the walls. This light is not physical. It is spiritual presence, evidence of the angels cleansing, repairing, and elevating what was once affected by prolonged stress, heaviness, and financial pressure. He says your home has absorbed more emotional weight than you realize. Lights of worry became imprints in the air. Days of fear lingered in the corridors. Long seasons of uncertainty created shadows in the unseen realm. But those shadows are being removed now, washed away by the presence of the angels who refuse to let your next blessing be contaminated by the pain of your past. Michael says something powerful. Where there was once scarcity, there will now be overflow. Where there was once confusion, there will now be clarity. Where there was once heaviness, there will now be peace. This shift is happening quietly, but forcefully, like a river carting its way through stone. What feels subtle to you in the natural realm is thunderous in the spiritual realm. He reveals now why your finances were chosen for this specific turning point. Heaven has observed how you handled your seasons of lack, with humility, kindness, discipline, and a heart that refused to grow bitter. You gave even when you didn't have much to offer. You hoped even when circumstances gave you no reason to hope. You continued to believe in divine timing even when everything around you seemed delayed. Heaven remembers these things. Heaven honors these things. This is why the angels are not simply preparing money for you. They are preparing restoration. Because the breakthrough coming to you is not just financial. It is emotional, spiritual, and generational. It is a cleansing of the old storyline that kept repeating itself through unexpected expenses, sudden losses, stalled progress, and opportunities slipping through your hands. That cycle ends now. Michael says heaven has revoked its permission for that pattern to continue. And now he reveals something rarely spoken. Blessings arrive through alignment, not luck. You are being aligned. Everything in your life is being positioned to receive the blessing without interference. This is why certain people began drifting away. This is why you no longer resonate with old environments. This is why your spirit has been craving peace lately. Heaven is detaching you from anything that would contaminate your blessing before it arrives. Michael draws your attention to something subtle you may have noticed. The air around you feels different at times, like a heaviness lifting or a warmth entering the room. He says this is the movement of the angels. When they shift, your environment shifts. When they speak, your intuition wakes up. When they cleanse, your thoughts become clear. And when they prepare, your blessings draw nearer. Now the angels have begun to speak among themselves again. Michael allows you to hear the tone, not the words. The tone is urgency mixed with excitement, like they know something astonishing is moments away from unfolding. He says your financial path has reached a point where it can no longer remain dormant. It must awaken. It must rise. It must move. Heaven has waited for the right moment, and that moment is now. Michael now gives an insight that will resonate with the deepest part of your soul. He says the reason your finances were attacked so heavily is because money was never the enemy's true target. It was your spirit, your confidence, your peace, your ability to dream, your connection to God's abundance. But the enemy failed. He did not break you. He did not silence you. He did not diminish the light inside you. And because of that, your breakthrough is coming with multiplied strength. Heaven is declaring restoration upon everything you lost, everything that slipped away, everything that was taken before its time. What comes next is not repayment, it is replacement. You will receive better than what was lost, more than what was taken, and greater than what you once expected. And Michael urges you, be attentive as you move forward, because the next revelation will expose something important about your destiny. He says what comes next will explain why the angels were sent in threes, why your home was the focal point, and why the countdown still echoes in the spiritual realm. Before you continue, let your spirit settle into this truth. The breakthrough is in motion. Nothing can stop what is approaching you. Type "I welcome the angels" work in the comments to seal the spiritual renovation. Blessing code 933 is now released into your home. Chosen soul, steady your heart now, because Archangel Michael says we are crossing into the part of the message where the truth begins to sharpen, and the revelation that has been building finally starts to take shape. He says the three angels surrounding your home are no longer just observing. They are initiating something. Their presence has shifted from preparation to activation, and what they are doing right now is sending waves through the spiritual atmosphere, clearing pathways that have been blocked for far too long. Michael reveals that your spirit has been sensing these changes even before your mind could understand them. The unusual dreams, the moments where time felt slower, were faster than normal. The sudden chills or warmth, emotional release that seemed to come out of nowhere. The strange clarity that visited you for only a few seconds, but felt deeply meaningful. These were not coincidences. They were signals showing you that heaven was adjusting the frequency around your life. Heaven has been preparing you for something significant, a financial elevation that will not come in the form of a small blessing, but a divine wave designed to push you into a new season entirely. Michael says your old season is not gradually fading, it is being cut off. Heaven is not transitioning you slowly. Heaven is pulling you forward with force, because the time that was lost in waiting must now be repaid in acceleration. Michael shows me a powerful image of the first angel, the one holding the scroll of reversal. The scroll is opening, and as it opens, I see symbols that glow and dissolve into golden particles. Each particle rises like smoke and travels toward the corners of your home. Michael says this represents the undoing of financial struggles that had roots deeper than you realized. Some of these struggles began years ago, some even before you were born, carried through family lines like invisible chains. But now the angel is cutting them. The scroll is reversing old outcomes and writing new ones in your favor. The second angel is moving with determined purpose. The vessel of increase that he carries is now glowing brighter than before, and Michael explains that this glow represents the readiness of your blessing. Heaven has been storing something for you, something you were not ready to carry earlier because the weight of your battles would have drained it or distorted it. But now the angels have determined you are strong enough, wise enough, protected enough to receive it. Your finances are about to take a shocking turn because the blessing attached to your name has reached maturity. It cannot remain in waiting any longer. Michael says heaven does not release blessings simply because you are desperate for change. Heaven releases blessings when the spiritual alignment is perfect. And in this moment, your alignment is unlike anything you have walked in before. You are spiritually positioned. You are emotionally awakened. You are energetically open. This is why the shift is coming now. Not 2 years ago, not 6 months ago, but now. The third angel, the one who carries the assignment of exposure, has now taken a step closer to your home. Michael says this angel's presence may bring unusual tension to your spirit temporarily, not fear, but awareness. You may begin noticing things you ignored before. A comment someone makes, a shift in someone's tone, a draining feeling after speaking to a particular person, a sudden realization, a sudden disconnect. These are not accidents. These are signs that the angel is revealing what has been stealing from your peace and indirectly affecting your finances. Michael says exposure is the divine flashlight that reveals what the darkness hoped you would never see. Someone around you, physically or energetically, has been benefiting from your dim light. Their access to your energy weakened your access to your blessings. But this angel is ending that connection. Heaven refuses to let your next season begin with old influences attached. And now Michael shares something deeply personal. He says your house was chosen for this heavenly visitation because it has endured the weight of your silent prayers, your hidden fears, and your unseen struggles. It has heard your whispered cries, your whispered hopes, and your whispered affirmations. Your home became a spiritual container for both your suffering and your resilience. Heaven is honoring that. Heaven is cleansing that. Heaven is making your house a dwelling of peace rather than pressure. Michael says your finances were not meant to struggle. That was never the divine plan. The delays, the losses, the unexpected downturns, these were attacks meant to break your spirit. But instead of breaking, you awakened. Instead of giving up, you kept walking. Instead of shutting down, your spirit stretched. Heaven had been watching, and now the angels are declaring that the season of resistance is over. There is a moment approaching. Michael calls it a divine interruption, where something will happen suddenly, unexpectedly, undeniably. A message, a decision, an opportunity, a deposit, a restoration, a conversation, a breakthrough. It will shift the energy of your life in an instant. You will feel the turning point. You will know this is the moment the angels were preparing you for. Michael urges you to pay attention as the next revelation unfolds, because what comes next will reveal the meaning behind the countdown. He says the urgency you feel is not fear, it is confirmation that heaven is accelerating what belongs to you. Stay connected, because the next unveiling carries a truth you must not miss. Type I receive the shifting winds in the comments to anchor this activation. Blessing code 664 is now released over your financial destiny. Beloved one, prepare your spirit gently as we step into this next unveiling, because Archangel Michael says the movement around your home has entered a stage that very few ever experience knowingly. He reveals that the three angels discussing your house are no longer whispering, they are declaring. Their voices are creating ripples in the unseen realm, reshaping the spiritual architecture of your life. Everything that once felt stagnant, delayed, or resistant is now trembling under the weight of their presence. Michael says what is happening now is not a whisper of change but the roar of transformation. Something is shifting with force, and it has your name written on it. Michael begins by showing me a vision of your house surrounded by layers of light, almost like rings expanding outward. These rings pulse with every declaration the angels release, and each pulse breaks another fragment of the old energy patterns that once clung to your environment. He says your home has undergone battles you never fully recognized, moments where the spiritual heaviness became so strong that you found yourself exhausted without reason, moments where opportunities slipped through your fingers because invisible resistance clouded your atmosphere. But Michael says those days are ending. The angels have begun dismantling the last remnants of these patterns, stripping away the residue of every struggle that ever touched your finances, your peace, or your path. He reveals that the angel of reversal has now begun reading aloud the words written on the scroll. Though you cannot hear them physically, your spirit is receiving them. These declarations are releasing closure to situations that drained you, restoration to areas where you lost ground, and divine authority to reclaim what was taken. Michael says this scroll contains not just your financial turnaround, but also your emotional repair. It holds promises that were delayed, blessings that were paused, and breakthroughs that were slowed. As the scroll opens, every blessing that was once suspended in waiting is being released. Michael then shifts the vision to the second angel holding the vessel of increase. That vessel is glowing so brightly now that it appears to be overflowing, as if the blessing inside has reached the point where it can no longer be contained. He says the shocking financial turn you are about to experience is connected to this vessel. Inside it are opportunities that were once blocked, answers you have prayed for, resources you forgot you asked heaven to send, and promises that were spoken over your life, but never manifested because the timing was not yet aligned. Michael says the timing is aligned now. Heaven has shifted into release mode. Your name is being spoken in places it has never been spoken. Your path is being recalibrated. Your energy is being elevated. Your spiritual discernment is being sharpened. You are being positioned for divine timing with such precision that nothing can interfere with what is coming. Michael says this alignment will feel sudden, but it has been orchestrated over years of unseen preparation. The angel of exposure is now moving with greater intensity. Michael says you may feel moments of sudden heaviness or sudden clarity in the days around this message. These sensations are the angel lifting the veil on hidden interference in your life. Someone's intentions, someone's energy, someone's quiet resentment or draining presence have been operating near you like a shadow. This angel is revealing it now, not to hurt you, but to free you. Exposure is mercy disguised as discomfort. When the truth surfaces, your spirit will understand why certain blessings were delayed. Michael says once this influence is revealed, heaven will cut the thread that connects their energy to your path. After that, your finances will move freely, like a river no longer blocked by stones. Heaven is preparing you for a turn so dramatic that it will feel like the ground beneath your life has shifted. Something will happen that confirms everything the angels have been preparing you for. A door will open. A message will arrive. A situation will turn in your favor with unexpected ease. The heaviness around your finances will begin breaking apart piece by piece, until suddenly, everything accelerates. Michael says this timing was chosen because December 12th carries a prophetic significance tied to your journey. You will understand it more clearly as the revelations continue. He also reveals something deeply comforting. Your spirit has been preparing for this breakthrough long before your conscious mind recognized it. The longing you felt, the frustration you battled, the random moments of hope that resurfaced when everything seemed still. These were signs that your spirit already sensed the angels drawing near. Michael says your soul had been waiting for this moment, and now it is here. Heaven is rewriting your story from the foundation upward. Your home is becoming a vessel of peace. Your spirit is becoming a magnet for abundance. Your finances are becoming aligned with divine flow rather than human struggle. Everything in your life is shifting, quietly but unmistakably, and the angels are celebrating your resilience. You have endured more than most know, and now heaven says you have endured enough. Michael whispers that what comes next is essential for you to hear. Another revelation is approaching, one that will explain the spiritual significance of the countdown and why heaven is moving with such divine urgency around your home. Do not let your focus drift. Each word that follows is part of the message heaven has carefully crafted for your breakthrough. Type "I stand in the NEW light" in the comments to anchor this unfolding. Blessing code 1004 is now released upon your path of abundance. Sacred One, soften your heart as we step deeper into this unfolding, because Archangel Michael says the spiritual activity around your home has reached a level that signifies imminent revelation. The angels are no longer simply cleansing, aligning, or preparing. They are now positioning. Their formation has shifted, their energy has intensified, and the vibration surrounding your home has risen to a frequency that only appears when something life-changing is about to be delivered. Michael says the next phase is not subtle. It is decisive. It marks the moment your life begins crossing from expectation into manifestation. Michael reveals that the angel of reversal has now fully opened the scroll, and the words once hidden are shining like molten gold. These words represent every prayer you whispered when nobody knew your struggles. They represent every moment you kept walking through weariness. They represent every time you fought through fear, every seed you planted in faith, every dream you protected even when your circumstances tried to suffocate your hope. Heaven is honoring all of that. The scroll contains the verdict heaven has reached regarding your financial battles, and Michael says the verdict is liberation. The chains have been broken in the spirit, and now the results must appear in the natural realm. The second angel, the angel of increase, holds the vessel so close to your home now that it glows like a sunrise pressed against your walls. The light from the vessel spills into the atmosphere, seeping through the unseen cracks of your environment, touching the very ground beneath you. Michael says this glow represents divine wealth preparing to enter your life not as a temporary lift, but as a permanent shift. This is not a blessing that comes and goes. This is a blessing that roots itself. A blessing that changes your posture. A blessing that elevates your stability, broadens your reach, strengthens your future, and breaks the pattern of living from survival to survival. Michael says heaven has watched you operate in survival for far too long. You have navigated storms with dignity when others would have collapsed. You have carried burdens with grace when others would have surrendered. You have given support while receiving none. You have held faith while carrying wounds. And now heaven is declaring that survival is no longer your identity. Prosperity is taking its place. The third angel, the angel of exposure, has taken a stance that signals the final stage of revelation. Michael says this angel has completed the internal assessment and is now turning outward. That means the truth you need to see about a person, a situation, or an energy around you will soon present itself externally, through actions, conversations, sudden distance, unexpected shifts, or intuitive clarity. Heaven does not expose to embarrass, heaven exposes to protect. Something where someone around you has been contributing to delay, whether knowingly or unknowingly. This angel is ensuring that nothing harmful remains tied to you as you enter your new financial chapter. Michael now reveals something deeply profound about why your home has been the center of these heavenly discussions. Your home is your place of rest, your place of thought, your place of vulnerability. It is where your spirit opens the most, where your emotions rise and fall, where your prayers form and release. Heaven always begins restoration where the wound began. And for you, The deepest struggles did not happen outside. They happened inside your home. The private battles, the quiet disappointments, the invisible warfare, the silent fear of losing stability, the exhaustion of pretending everything was fine. Michael says heaven has now stepped inside your private space to rewrite your private reality. The angels are transforming your home from a container of worry into a chamber of abundance. The energy you wake up in, the air you breathe, the silence that surrounds you, all of it is being infused with divine presence. Heaven wants your home to support your breakthrough, not weaken it. He also reveals that the countdown you keep hearing mentioned is not meant to frighten you. It represents a narrowing spiritual window where heaven has chosen to intervene with speed. It signifies divine urgency, not danger. The angels are moving quickly because the blessing assigned to your name can no longer remain in waiting without being affected by the shifting cycles of the earth and the spiritual realm. Heaven is intervening before interference can return. Michael shows me a powerful moment approaching. It is as if time pauses for a brief second, and in that pause, a message, opportunity, or shift enters your life with undeniable clarity. You will feel it the moment it happens, like your spirit inhales light. It will not be a small sign. It will be unmistakable. This moment will begin the turning point the angels have prepared you for. Heaven is ready. The angels are ready. Your spirit is ready. And finally, your timeline is ready. Michael urges you not to separate yourself from this message too soon, because the next revelation will explain why heaven chose this exact season of your life to intervene. It will reveal the spiritual significance of the struggle you overcame and why your financial victory had to arrive now, not before, not later, but now. Hold this truth gently. Everything is aligning, everything is accelerating, everything is shifting in your favor. You have survived the hardest part, and now you are approaching the divine unveiling you were meant to witness. Type "I welcome the angelic positioning" in the comments to seal this elevation. Blessing code 1211 is now released into your financial atmosphere. Beloved soul, steady your breath as we cross into this next revelation. For Archangel Michael says the spiritual atmosphere around your home has reached a level of intensity that signals divine culmination. The three angels who once stood in observation have now taken their final positions, and their alignment marks the moment heaven has been preparing you for. Michael says the energy around you is vibrating with purpose. Your life is no longer in the realm of delay. You have stepped into the realm of divine execution. Everything that was once held back is now being released, and every obstacle that stood in your way is losing its strength. Michael begins by revealing that the angel of reversal is now releasing the final wave of the scroll's power. The scroll that once opened slowly is now unfurling with force, as if the words written upon it cannot wait a moment longer to reach you. This scroll contains your restoration, your recompense, your breakthrough, and your financial elevation. Every line on the scroll is a spiritual decree, and these decrees are rewriting the pattern of your life in real time. Michael says the old financial struggles are no longer attached to you. The cycle that once repeated itself with exhausting accuracy has been broken at the root. Even if you cannot see it yet, the shift has already begun. Your timeline has been corrected. Your destiny has been recalibrated. The angel of increase is now standing closest to your home, and Michael says this angel is pouring the golden substance from the vessel into the atmosphere around you. The moment the vessel tilts, the light from it expands like a wave of divine radiance. This wave is entering the spiritual blueprint of your life, rewriting the pathways of income, opportunity, stability, and overflow. Michael says you may begin noticing little changes, unexpected peace, new inspiration, unusual hope, revived confidence. These are early symptoms of financial elevation. Heaven often shifts your mindset before it shifts your bank account, because your inner atmosphere must match the abundance heaven is preparing to release. The third angel, the angel of exposure, is now standing behind your home with a sword lifted toward the sky. Michael explains that this sword is not for battle, but for truth. This angel has located the source of interference that drained your energy, weakened your momentum, or created hidden resistance around your finances. Now the final step is taking place. Exposure is coming not as confrontation, but as realization. A veil will lift. A thought will clarify. A truth will emerge. Someone's intentions, patterns, or spiritual influence will finally make sense. When the exposure arrives, you will not feel fear. You will feel freedom. Your spirit will breathe. The heaviness will break, and the blessing that was once restrained will begin to move toward you without obstruction. Michael shares something profound about your journey. He says you have reached the part of your path where heaven has judged you worthy of increase, not because of perfection, but because of perseverance. Your resilience has been counted. Your sacrifices have been seen. Your battles have been weighed. You held out when many would have surrendered. You stayed soft when hardship tried to make you hard. You continued loving, believing, and hoping even when your environment offered no reward. Heaven calls this endurance a rare strength, and now that strength is being honored with breakthrough. He reveals that your house is now glowing in the spirit realm, as if the angels have marked it with divine identification. Heaven knows where to send your blessings. Heaven knows where your breakthrough must land. Heaven knows where the financial shift must anchor itself. Your home is no longer a place of uncertainty. It has become a magnet for abundance. Michael says the countdown has reached its critical moment. The reason heaven declared urgency is because a unique spiritual portal opened for you, allowing accelerated blessings to enter your timeline. These portals do not remain open indefinitely. They open in divine timing, and those who are aligned receive the fullness of what heaven releases. Michael says you are aligned. You are ready. You are spiritually tuned to receive what is meant for you. Heaven is moving with a momentum that cannot be stopped. And now Michael reveals a truth designed to prepare your heart for what comes next. Your financial elevation will not only surprise others, it will surprise you. It will come through an unexpected connection, an unexpected approval, an unexpected opportunity, or an unexpected release. You will stand in awe of how quickly the angels rearranged your life. Michael urges you not to disconnect from this message, because the next revelations will unveil the hidden divine purpose behind your financial warfare. Heaven has not carried you through this journey for a small blessing, but for a transformative one. The next stage will reveal why your struggle was so intense, and why your elevation will be equally powerful. Type I accept heaven's decree of abundance to seal the energy released in this moment. Blessing code 1444 now rests upon your home and financial path. If this message is stirring something deep within you, take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe. When you engage, you help this divine word reach others who are desperate for clarity, hope, and spiritual awakening. Your action may lead someone else to their breakthrough. As these angels stand over your home and the scroll of heaven unfolds on your behalf, I feel a holy nudge to speak directly to your spirit. In the season of divine reversal, your support becomes more than generosity. It becomes a prophetic act of alignment. Scripture declares that those who sow into the work of God are placing their seed directly into the river of supernatural harvest, and I sense that river flowing now. Hear this line clearly. I am inviting you to step into what heaven is already doing. When you give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, You ignite a spiritual transaction that heaven multiplies in ways you cannot yet imagine. You are helping carry light to souls who have lost their way, and heaven rewards those who partner in this mission. To every supporter, I release this blessing. May your seed return as unexpected provision, accelerated opportunities, and divine protection over your home. Step boldly, for this is a moment of holy assignment. Beloved Spirit, prepare yourself with stillness as we enter this next unveiling, for Archangel Michael says we are now approaching the deepest layer of the mystery surrounding your home, your finances, and the sudden acceleration that heaven has prepared for you. The angels who once stood at a distance are now fully engaged in their assignments, and the spiritual atmosphere around you has thickened with purpose. Michael says you may feel this as unusual sensitivity, heightened intuition, or an unexplainable awareness that something is shifting, not around you, but for you. This is the sign that the spiritual realm is now inches away from breaking into the physical realm. Michael reveals that the angel of reversal is releasing a final decree from the scroll, and these last declarations are powerful enough to break generational patterns. He says your financial difficulties were never isolated incidents. They were part of a larger web woven across time, influenced by old cycles, past disappointments, inherited burdens, and environmental pressures. But now the scroll is correcting what should never have been attached to you. The angel is sealing closed the pathways that once opened doors to lack and redirecting you into the timeline that was always meant for you. The one that carries ease, abundance, restoration, and divine flow. Heaven has decided that your days of financial instability are over. Michael makes this clear. What heaven makes a decree, but once resisted you loses its authority. The angels have cut ties with every spiritual chain that made money slip from your hands as soon as it arrived. Every cycle that caused unexpected expenses to show up just when you were beginning to rise. Every barrier that made progress feel temporary and setbacks feel permanent. The scroll's final decree is this: the old system is dismantled, the old cycle is dead, and the new blessing is now active. Michael now turns your attention to the angel of increase, whose vessel is no longer glowing. It is overflowing. The golden substance inside it is spilling into the atmosphere like divine rain, and every drop represents a blessing, a resource, a breakthrough, a provision that has been waiting for its appointed time. Michael says your appointed time has arrived. This rain is not symbolic. It is spiritual code being integrated into your path. Heaven is rewriting your financial landscape. New opportunities are being carved out for you. People who once overlooked you are now being drawn toward you. Spaces that were closed are now opening with ease. You may notice unexpected favor, someone offering help without you asking, a situation turning in your favor without explanation, a door that once rejected you suddenly welcoming you. These are not coincidences. They are symptoms of the angel of increase fulfilling his assignment. Michael says you must understand something critical here. Abundance is not just money. Abundance is clarity. Abundance is stability. Abundance is connection. Abundance is inner peace. Abundance is recognizing your worth and refusing to settle for less. The angels are bringing you into a financial shift that touches every part of your life, because heaven wants your elevation to be holistic, not shallow. The angel of exposure is now completing his cycle. His sword, once lifted toward the sky, is now pointed toward the ground. This means the truth has been uncovered. Either you have already noticed signs of someone's hidden intentions, or you will see them shortly. It may come through an unexpected conversation, a sudden emotional shift, a moment of inner knowing, or a situation that reveals someone's heart more clearly than before. Michael says the purpose of this exposure is not to shock you, but to free you. Someone's energy, whether through jealousy, doubt, negativity, or quiet resentment, was slowing the flow of blessings assigned to you. Their connection acted like a siphon, draining your strength, your motivation, and even the spiritual pathways through which your abundance was meant to travel. Heaven has now intercepted this interference. Once the truth is recognized in your spirit, the attachment breaks, and your blessings accelerate with unstoppable force. Michael now reveals a profound truth about your journey. You have been undergoing a spiritual purification without fully realizing it. Every disappointment, every delay, every financial struggle pushed you closer to the version of yourself that heaven needed you to become for this blessing to take root. You have been shaped by storms, refined by hardship, and strengthened by nights when you felt you were unraveling. But what you did not see was the divine transformation taking place beneath the surface. Heaven has been preparing you to carry more abundance, more influence, more stability, more spiritual authority. Your suffering did not make you weaker. It made you deeper. Your setbacks did not diminish you. They sharpened you. Michael says heaven never wastes pain. Every tear watered the soil of your new beginning. Now the angels are positioning you to receive something that is not temporary, not fragile, not uncertain. This blessing will reshape your life. It will dissolve fear, quiet doubt, and rewrite the emotional memory of your finances. For the first time in a long time, you will feel anchored, supported, and secure. Michael urges you to stay close to this message because the next revelations will explain not only what is coming, but why it had to take this long to arrive. Heaven is about to give you understanding of the battle, the delay, the breakthrough, and the divine timing. Do not drift. What comes next is the key that ties everything together. Type "I embrace the divine shift" in the comments to solidify this awakening. Blessing code 2027 now rests upon your path. Beloved soul, prepare yourself with reverence, for Archangel Michael says we are entering one of the most sacred moments of your unfolding. The angels surrounding your home have shifted once again, and Michael reveals that their alignment now forms what he calls a Trinity arc, a spiritual configuration that appears only when heaven is ready to deliver a revelation that changes the direction of a person's entire destiny. This is not a moment of subtle signs. This is a moment of divine clarity, truth that arrives like a beam of light cutting through years of confusion. Michael says you have reached the point where heaven begins to explain the deeper purpose behind your financial warfare, your delays, and your sudden elevation. He begins by showing me an image of your home from above, as though the spiritual realm has opened a window. Your home is glowing with a steady light, no longer flickering from instability or fear. Michael says this glow represents the new frequency you have stepped into. The angels have now finished breaking the old patterns that lingered in your environment, and your home is finally vibrating with the frequency of abundance instead of survival. This shift is permanent. It is sealed. He says you may even notice your home feeling lighter, quieter, calmer, because what once pressed against you spiritually no longer has access to your atmosphere. Michael turns your attention to the angel of reversal, who now stands before your home with the scroll fully open and the words upon it radiating like fire. He reveals something extraordinary. The scroll does not merely contain decrees, it contains your spiritual timeline. It shows the seasons you endured, the prayers you whispered, the burdens you carried, and the moments heaven intervened even when you did not realize it. Michael says heaven always knew when your breakthrough would come, even when you doubted, even when you felt forgotten, even when you thought your story was stuck. Heaven delays nothing without purpose. Every moment before this one shaped your spirit into someone capable of carrying the magnitude of the blessing approaching you. The angel of increase steps forward next, and Michael says the vessel he carries has begun to generate a sound, not a noise, but a vibration that resonates with your spirit. This vibration is a call, drawing your blessings toward you. It is pulling forth opportunities, relationships, resources, and divine alignments that belong to your next season. Many of these blessings were stored in heavenly chambers, waiting for the right moment and the right version of you to receive them. Michael wants you to understand something deeply. Heaven sends blessings not only when the timing is right on earth, but when the timing is right within you. Your growth allowed what was once withheld. Now Michael brings your attention to the angel of exposure, who stands with his sword lowered, signaling that the revelation is complete. He says you may begin feeling a sudden clarity about people or situations that once confused you. You may see someone's behavior differently, interpret their words differently, or feel a shift in your spirit when their presence enters your life. This is heaven's way of showing you the truth gently but firmly. Exposure is not meant to create anger or fear. It is meant to create freedom. You cannot step into your elevation with the same energies that contributed to your delay. The angel has now removed the final thread that tied your blessing to interference, and your path is clearer than it has ever been. Michael reveals that the intense financial pressure you endured was never punishment. It was preparation. Your spirit was being strengthened, your discernment sharpened, your faith deepened, and your endurance refined. Heaven needed you to become someone who could handle abundance without fear, anxiety, or self-doubt. Someone who would not waste blessings. Someone who would not shrink from opportunity. Someone who would not sabotage their own rise. You became that person through struggle. Now heaven is rewarding you through elevation. Michael now speaks with great clarity. The shocking turn in your finances is not a single moment. It is a sequence. It is gain. Once the first shift begins, a trail of blessings will follow. One door opens another. One message unlocks another. One opportunity draws in its companions. He says your life is about to move faster than it has in years, but with ease, not overwhelm. What once required force will now require only alignment. What once strained you will now empower you. What once felt uphill will now feel divinely guided. The countdown mentioned earlier is nearing its spiritual completion. Michael explains that the countdown was a sign of convergence, where your readiness, your healing, your timing, and heaven's approval finally met at the same point. When such convergence happens, destiny moves quickly. This is why your spirit has felt restless, why your dreams have been vivid, why your intuition has sharpened. Your inner world hath been preparing for the outer shift that is now approaching. Michael urges you to understand that the angels are not merely observing your life. They are escorting you into a new realm of abundance. They are guarding your transition. They are shielding your blessing. They are ensuring that what heaven releases into your life will not slip away, be stolen, or be diminished by old cycles. He says you are stepping into a season where blessings will find you effortlessly, not because you are lucky, but because heaven has declared you ready. Before moving forward, Michael whispers one final truth for this moment. Your story is no longer in the hands of struggle. It is in the hands of divine orchestration. What comes next will make sense of everything you survived, everything you lost, and everything you fought your way through. You are standing on the threshold of revelation, and the next unveiling will explain why heaven chose you for this transformation. Type "I claim my divine timeline" in the comments to seal this revelation. Blessing code 3113 is now released over your journey. Beloved one, as we enter this next unfolding, Archangel Michael asks you to become very still within yourself, for the revelation approaching carries the weight of divine understanding. He says the spiritual atmosphere surrounding your home has now become charged with a type of heavenly electricity, an energy that only appears when something has already been decided in the courts of heaven and is preparing to descend into the physical realm. The three angels who have been stationed around your home are now facing inward, creating a protective shield that surrounds not just your dwelling, but your spirit, your finances, and your divine trajectory. Michael says what you are stepping into is not accidental. It is appointed. He begins by revealing that the glow around your house has intensified. What was once soft light is now a radiant field, expanding outward like a living pulse. This radiance is the result of every decree released by the angel of reversal. Michael says the scroll's power has now woven itself into your timeline. That means the changes that were once spiritual are now binding in the natural. The reversal is not something that will happen. It is something that has already begun. You may begin noticing subtle signs around you. Unexpected calm, sudden inspiration, a moment of clarity, a shift in someone's attitude, or an unexplainable lifting of your personal heaviness. These are signals that the divine decree is manifesting. The old energy patterns that once clung to your finances have been dissolved. Michael now brings your focus to the angel of increase. The vessel that once overflowed is now pouring steadily, almost like a river flowing from heaven into your life. This flow represents sustained abundance. Not a one-time breakthrough, not a temporary lifting, but a continuous stream that reshapes your financial landscape entirely. Michael says you must prepare yourself for a new rhythm in your finances. The scarcity mindset that hardship created will begin to release its grip. You will find yourself thinking differently, choosing differently, perceiving differently. Heaven is not just sending money. Heaven is restoring confidence, wisdom, discernment, and emotional safety around your ability to receive. He then turns your attention to the angel of exposure. This angel's work is complete, but the effects are still unfolding. Michael says the truth that was revealed, whether through intuition, sudden awareness, or a shift in someone's behavior, was heaven's way of removing the last obstacle between you and the blessing prepared for you. Exposure is often uncomfortable, but it is also liberating. It removes the weight of confusion and clarifies the path ahead. With this clarity, your energy becomes more aligned, your spirit becomes more open, and your blessings flow more freely. Michael shares something now that penetrates deeply. He says your financial warfare was never simply about lack or money. It was about spiritual territory. The enemy sought to weaken your foundation by targeting your stability, knowing that if your foundation shook, your spirit would waver. But what the enemy underestimated was your resilience. You may have bent, but you did not break. You may have cried, but you did not surrender. You may have doubted, but you did not turn away. Heaven has honored your endurance. The angels have honored your persistence. And now your finances, once under attack, are becoming the very area where heaven intends to show its glory. Michael reveals a striking truth. Your breakthrough will not look like the slow rebuild you may have expected. It will feel more like a sudden alignment, a quick unfolding, a divine acceleration that surprises even you. Heaven delayed your blessing only long enough for the right doors, right people, and right timing to align. Now that everything is synchronized, heaven will move with speed. The shift will appear almost effortless, not because the blessing is small, but because the burden has been lifted from your shoulders and placed into heaven's hands. He also reveals that the angels are now preparing your internal world for the external change. You may notice your spirit feeling more grounded, more hopeful, more sensitive to divine guidance. These shifts matter. Heaven never pours abundance into a vessel that is not ready to hold it. Your internal strengthening is a sign that your external elevation is near. Michael shows me one more powerful image. The three angels are now forming a circle of protection around your home. Within this circle, no interference, no negativity, no spiritual attack can enter. Your home has become a sanctuary, a place of divine orchestration, a space where blessings gather, multiply, and remain. The angels have sealed the energy of your home so that when your financial breakthrough arrives, it will stay, grow, and expand. Heaven is preparing you for a moment of unveiling, when the shocking turn in your finances will reveal itself clearly, undeniably, emphatically. You will know it when it happens. It will carry a supernatural imprint, a feeling of awe, a sense of divine timing, a moment where everything aligns with a clarity that cannot be dismissed. Michael urges you not to drift from this journey now. The next part will bring the final revelation, the completion of the spiritual message, and the divine understanding that ties every moment of struggle, every tear, every prayer, and every whisper of hope into one unified purpose. The conclusion will reveal what the angels were discussing from the beginning, why your home was the focal point, and what heaven hath been preparing you to step into. Hold yourself with gentleness, for you are standing on the edge of divine manifestation. Everything you have survived has led you to this threshold. Heaven is not finished speaking. Type "I stand ready for my divine completion" in the comments to anchor this moment. Blessing code 5505 is now released upon your timeline. Beloved soul, take a deep breath as we enter this final revelation, because Archangel Michael says the message that began with urgency now concludes with divine assurance. The angels who surrounded your home, observed your struggles, studied your atmosphere, and intervened in your timeline have now finished their assignments. What was once preparation has become manifestation. What was once spiritual has begun to take shape in the physical. Michael says this final part of the message is not merely information. It is the sealing of a promise heaven has already placed over your life. He begins by revealing that the glow surrounding your home has shifted into something permanent. What once flickered like a soft flame is now a steady radiance, a spiritual signature marking your home as a place of divine oversight. This glow signifies that the work is complete. The purification has been done. The interference hath been removed. The cycles have been broken. Your home is no longer a battlefield. It is a sanctuary, a vessel for blessing, a dwelling for divine alignment. Michael says the angel of reversal now steps forward and closes the scroll, not as an end, but as a confirmation. Everything written upon it hath been released. Every decree has been enforced. Every chain has been cut. Every door that once refused to open has been commanded to yield. Heaven has rewritten the storyline that once defined your financial journey. Where there was lack, there will be supply. Where there was stagnation, there will be acceleration. Where there was anxiety, there will be peace. Your timeline has been redeemed. The angel of increase, who poured from the vessel of abundance, now lifts it gently as the last drops fall into your atmosphere. These final drops represent the completion of your financial restoration. Michael says you will soon begin noticing what heaven has already released: unexpected opportunities, surprising messages, sudden alignment, and breakthroughs that seem to arrive without effort. These are not coincidences. They are the fruit of what the angels planted around your life. You are not stepping into a season of blessing. You are stepping into a rhythm of blessing. A flow that continues, grows, expands, and stabilizes. The angel of exposure, whose sword revealed hidden interference, now lowers it fully. His mission is finished. The truths you needed to see have been revealed or will soon come to light in ways that free your spirit rather than burden it. Michael says this exposure was necessary because heaven will not allow your blessing to rest on a foundation compromised by negative influence or harmful energy. The people who cannot continue into your next chapter will naturally drift away or reveal their true intentions. Trust this process. Heaven is protecting the purity of what you are about to receive. Now Michael explains the meaning behind the countdown that echoed throughout this message. The countdown was never about fear. It was about alignment. It represented a collapsing of timelines, a convergence of divine timing with your personal readiness. Heaven opened a rare window through which accelerated blessing could enter your life. This window required awareness, openness, and spiritual readiness, and you responded. You listened. You held on. You stayed aligned long enough for heaven to complete the transformation. The countdown signaled the approach of your breakthrough, and now that breakthrough stands at your door, Michael reveals something deeply moving. The three angels who stood guard around your home were not discussing danger. They were discussing destiny. They were reviewing the changes heaven prepared for your finances, the healing heaven prepared for your spirit, and the protection heaven prepared for your future. Your home was the focal point because your home holds your heart, your prayers, your silence, your tears, your breakthroughs, and your rebuilding. Heaven transformed the atmosphere of your home so that the blessing arriving would have a place to grow. And now, Michael speaks with finality. Your finances are entering a shocking divine turn. A turn that interrupts years of stagnation, reverses patterns of loss, and births streams of increase where there once was drought. This blessing will not simply lift you. It will reposition you. It will reaffirm your worth, restore what was taken, and rebuild what was broken. Heaven has declared it. The angels have enforced it. Your spirit has aligned with it. Now your reality will receive it. Michael urges you to hold your heart open for the signs that will follow, signs that confirm the manifestation has begun. A message arriving at the perfect time. An opportunity appearing from nowhere. A financial release that resolves something long-standing. A feeling of peace that settles over you without explanation. These are the footprints of your breakthrough. Before we close this message, Michael gives one final truth. The reason you survived everything you did is because heaven never intended for your story to end in struggle. You were meant for restoration. You were meant for elevation. You were meant for abundance. And now, heaven has delivered what belongs to you. Walk into it with confidence, with gratitude, with courage, and with the unshakable knowing that God has gone before you. Blessing ritual. Type "I receive my completion" in the comments to seal this entire prophetic journey. Blessing code 7770 has now been released over your life, your home, and your finances. If this message has spoken to your spirit, like, comment, share, subscribe, and help this divine word reach those who are searching for guidance, clarity, and awakening. Your engagement helps carry light into places where hope has dimmed. As we close this divine encounter, I feel a holy urgency to speak directly into your spirit. When God releases a word this powerful, He invites His chosen ones to stand in partnership with the work He is doing. The Lord says that every seed planted into His mission becomes a torch that lights the path for another lost soul. I hear a whisper from heaven. In this moment, I am calling you to step into the flow of abundance. When you support this ministry through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into a living move of God. Your seed becomes a declaration that you are aligned with light, with purpose, with divine overflow. To every giver, I release this prophetic blessing. May your seed open heavens over your home, multiply back into your finances, and mark the beginning of miracles you did not even know to request. Step into this moment boldly. Heaven commands the blessing upon those who move in obedience.